And that's why I think it's a good time to learn some grammar. What? Now did I stammer? Work on that grammar. You should know it. It's less or it's fewer. Oh, yeah. Like people who were never raised in a sewer. I hate these word crimes. Like I could care less. That means you do care. At least a little. Be a moron. Hey, you better slow down.
Hi, you're still here. Thank you for being a very diligent student. That means you're really intent on learning. So if you reach this video, that means you've already listened to coordination and subordination. And now it's time to study sentence combination by way of compression. Compression is a device. Okay, we use this so that longer structures may be reduced to shorter structures. The goal of compression is to make writing concise because in writing we have the KISS principle. KISS stands for keep it short and simple. We want to say our meaning using few words. And in using few words, we still deliver the same impact. That's why we compress. Example, in the original sentence, you say, the boys can't swim in the pool because their father won't allow them. So if you identify the conjunction here, you have because. So that means you have a subordinate clause and you have a main clause because you use a subordinating conjunction to indicate cause and effect or result. But you can actually make the sentence shorter and more concise. How? By reducing one clause into an adjective clause, specifically using a past participle. So here, won't allow them became not allowed by their father, and this phrase modifies the boys. It serves as an adjective clause describing or modifying the boys. So you say, not allowed by their father, the boys can't swim in the pool. Notice how the sentence became shorter and more concise, but the meaning is still there, right? Okay, let's have a more complex one. Attorney Garcia allowed his men to make important decisions in a democratic manner. Second sentence, this democratic attitude fostered a spirit of togetherness and commitment on the part of Garcia's colleagues. So if you wish to compress, of course, the things or the ideas that you can omit are the repetitive ones or the similar ones. For example, here you have one subject, Attorney Garcia, and then in the second clause, it talks about Garcia's colleague. So maybe you can change the construction in a way that you highlight only the doer, like Attorney Garcia. Another way is to join or combine, okay, because you have similar ideas like in a democratic manner and this democratic attitude. So if you combine that, you compress that, you will be left with the idea allowed his men to make important decisions. And you can change that into a verb ing participial clause. So you say, allowing his men to make important decisions in a democratic manner, Attorney Garcia fostered a spirit of togetherness and commitment among his colleagues. This way, you are able to make the sentence really concise, and by being short, you now give the readers a chance to understand your meaning at an instant. Okay? The question is, how do you do this? How do you do this? Okay. In combining, because when you compress, you're also combining, right? Make sure you know how to use the correlative conjunctions. We have 5 correlative because these conjunctions always come in pair. Also, the conjunctive adverbs. Okay, C table, we say C table. The handout is posted in our WordPress site. Okay, and then to continue with the compression, we will try the different modes of joining using two nucleus sentences. So for example, you have the first main sentence, UP students are reflective and socially responsible. The second sentence, they can respond to the evolving call of the times. Now, in combining, you can decide to coordinate, you can also subordinate, and you can compress. When you compress, you do compression alongside coordination and subordination. That's why I gave these two nucleus sentences, and we will all together use all of the skills we've learned on sentence combination. So, first possible combination, you may compound the sentence, okay, through coordination. Since you have only one subject, you can use UP students as the subject, are reflective and socially responsible, and they, pertaining to UP students, can respond to the evolving call of the time. So what you did is you compounded the two sentences. Second way, you may compound the predicate, okay? So you have one simple subject, UP students, but you have a compound predicate. Are reflective, socially responsible, and can respond to the evolving call of the time. So this sentence is almost similar to the first one because you coordinated. Or you may use an absolute phrase. Question now is, what is an absolute phrase? Okay? An absolute phrase is a modifier. More often, it's a participle. When you say participle, it can be a verb ed or a verb ing. Like in this case, the absolute phrase is UP students being reflective and socially responsible. Being reflective and socially responsible is a participial phrase acting as a modifier to the subject UP students. So when you attach it to your sentence, you may now combine without using any conjunction. So there's no conjunction here, but you were able to combine absolute phrase, and then you say they can respond to the evolving call of the times. That serves as your main clause. Okay? Or you can use an adverbial clause. This adverbial clause is in the form of, remember the adverbial modifier? We studied it in sentence patterns. So here, the adverbial modifier is the dependent clause, because UP students are reflective and socially responsible. Modifying the reason or describing the reason why UP students can respond to the evolving call of the times. So by using subordinating conjunction, because you are able to compress by using an adverbial clause. Excuse me. Now, you may also use an adjective clause. The adjective clause is who are reflective and socially responsible, modifying the subject UP students. So UP students who are reflective and socially responsible, can respond to the evolving call of the times. How else can we combine? Okay, we can use an ing participial clause. So you may say, being reflective and socially responsible, UP students can respond to the evolving call of the times. Another way is by using verbless clause. If it's verbless, of course, there will be no verb element none at all. Okay, so a verbless clause is any structure containing no verb element at all. Here, the verbless clause is reflective and socially responsible. So you have a covered subject if it's a verbless clause. But here, since it modifies UP students, then your verbless clause, okay, reflective and socially responsible pertains to UP students who can respond to the evolving call of the times. Appositive, okay, everyone's familiar with appositive. Appositive, even if you omit this, the sentence still stands. Like here, UP students, reflective and socially responsible citizens. Appositive that pertains to UP students can respond to the evolving call of the times. Okay, notice that the different ways by which we combined made use of coordination, subordination, and even compression. And it also requires you to study how to use participial phrases or participial clauses, as well as adjective and adverbial clauses and modifiers. So, taken all together, you can now answer or do this exercise on joining sentences. When we join sentences, we can do so in two levels. First is guided and the other one is free. When you say guided, you will be given specific set of instructions on how to go about the combination. So the direction is subordinate, coordinate, and compressed structures as suggested to form a single sentence. So you do it step by step. Okay, and make sure to position modifiers properly. Example, you are asked to combine these three clauses. They stood on the doorstep. The three old ladies looked like twittering crows. They were dressed all in black. I'm sure you can combine all these in your own way, but let's first do it following the suggestions. Okay, first step, compress statement letter A into an ing participial clause. So statement A, that stood, the verb is stood. If you convert that to ing, that will be standing. Standing on the doorstep, it will now introduce, this phrase will introduce B. Statement B, which will be the main predication. When you say it will be the main predication, that will be the main subject, main doer, main verb, main predicate of your sentence. So, the other sentences will simply serve as modifier or perhaps complement or dependent clauses. But make sure that letter B, statement B, is your main clause. So, you have standing on the doorstep, comma, the three old ladies. Okay, before we continue, let's follow the next instruction. Change C, statement C, to an ed participial clause, dressed all in black. Okay, to modify the appropriate noun in B. Dressed all in black, of course, it modifies the three old ladies and not the twittering crows. So make sure you place it near the three old ladies. So if you do all the steps, you will come up with this sentence. Standing on the doorstep, the three old ladies dressed in black looked like twittering crows. So if that's easy for you, let's try joining sentences, but this time free. You say free, it's up to you. Okay? So the direction is combine by coordinating, subordinating, and compressing. So any of the steps, okay? You have the liberty to choose the subject and verb of the main predication. Again, it's up to you. Okay, the only condition is you have to make sure that the combined sentence retains the essence of the individual sentences. Because you can combine actually just by using and all throughout your sentences, and. But then the meaning will not surface because we want also to use more complex relationships. Like, for example, if there's cause and effect, you have to establish that. So remember to apply the KISS principle. Keep it short and simple. So, you have several sentences. First one, the play is written by one of the country's leading writers. Second sentence, it is directed by a young theater arts major. Third, the play revolves around the character of Catherine. Fourth, the concept of individual freedom is highlighted in the play. Okay, so you have to pause the video for a while, grab your pen and paper, and I want you to write your answer there. Okay, done. You can now view the answer. This one. This is just a suggested answer. Written by one of the country's leading writers and directed by a young theater arts major, the play revolves around the character of Catherine and highlights the concept of individual freedom. Is this your answer, or is your answer similar to this one? Make sure the modifiers are placed properly. Notice that the last sentence was also converted into active for consistency. And then you compressed most of the sentence parts to come up with a very concise, very effective sentence such as this one. So that's it. So these are the references that I used. And as parting words, I leave you with this quote: if you do what you always did, you will get what you always got. So that means if you, in the past, if you wrote sentences that are not as effective as the sentences that we combined, subordinated, and compressed, then it's now time for you to be more creative and be more adventurous in your writing so that you will get maximum or optimum results. Okay.